expensive, we're staying at room 13. Usually airy and usually very, and that's just how my life goes. And I don't ever try to dress to impress. Fuck you, preppy asshole. On the 14th floor and a bathroom door don't lie. So happy we don't gotta worry about the cops. We could all get arrested for this, but when the party's mixed, I don't give a shit tonight. Alright. Now she walks in the bedroom fast, despite all the noise from the crowd. Now she's bedless on the bathroom sink. Her mother would be so proud. Gets on the deed and there's a line to go pee, but the bathroom looks like a war zone.
Welcome in to episode 97 of Phired Up. Check it out. Check us out at PHIREDUPSPORTS.com. My name is Mike Gilletto. Joining me is Dom Console. Dom, what's going on, dude?
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing just fine. It seems like every week we got tech issues. I don't know what the fuck's. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's just my end or if people listening can hear the little hissing going on. We'll figure out the audio next week. But
I don't hear anything, so
you don't hear. So everything's good for you then. You're good.
Yeah, I'm good as golden.
You're good, exactly. Before we get into our topics, and I'll be honest, it's kind of a slow news week. I'm sure I'm going to be ranting about the Flyers in a little bit. We got spring training to talk about. Not much Phillies news, or not much Eagles news, and the Sixers are the Sixers. But before we get into all that, I got to tell everybody about our sponsor. This is a public service announcement. Manscaped now has beard products and is even going further with their brand new Weed Whacker 2.0. Go ahead and tell the world the leaders in below-the-waist grooming are traveling north of your South Pole with their revolutionary grooming products. The new Weed Whacker 2.0 and their beard line confirms they have the best tools for your hygiene toolbox. Time for you to upgrade your game by going to Manscaped.com and using our code FIREDUP for 20% off plus free shipping. Gentlemen, meet the Beard Hedger Pro Kit. It is the ultimate package that makes it easier than ever to craft your signature look. It all starts with the cordless electric beard hedger. The beard hedger is tough on hair but smooth on your face, leading to single stroke efficiency that brings satisfaction one stroke at a time. This waterproof cordless trimmer has a rotary wheel that gives you 20 hair cutting lengths, all with one guard, so no more messy drawers full of extra add-ons. The Pro Kit also comes with 4 dermatologist tested formulations for your post trim care. This includes Manscaped's beard shampoo and conditioner, beard oil, and beard balm to moisturize, style, and shimmer your new beard. Plus, the kit has 3 free gifts: a beard brush, comb, and scissors. With a nice beard, your face is perfectly groomed, right? Wrong. You need to keep an eye out for those tough-to-trim ear and nose hairs. The brand new Weed Whacker 2.0 offers improved blades and skin-safe technology with a no-tugging guarantee. It's never been so painless to mind your manholes. Now that you have your face looking great, you must try Manscaped's Performance Package 4.0 for the full-body grooming experience. Good news, the Performance Package 4.0 now comes with the Weed Whacker 2.0 and all the other below-the-waist grooming products Manscaped is known for. Your significant other will be delighted to see you covering all bases, if you know what I mean. So get 20% off and free shipping with our code FIREDUP at Manscaped.com. It's 20% off and free shipping at Manscaped.com, and use our code FIREDUP. Always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. A lot of good stuff going on over there at Manscaped. And another thing that happened with us and a new sponsor, I'm going to announce it here off the top. We are now sponsored by SEATGEEK. So go over to SEATGEEK. If you haven't done it yet, you get $20 off your first purchase using code PHIREDUPSPORTS, all one word. And obviously, SeatGeek, I think people know what SeatGeek is at this point, but basically, it's an app to buy and sell tickets. And yeah, I mean, it's really good.
For years.
Well, what was that? You've been using it for years? Yeah,
I've been using it for years. Yeah, I mean, you just get, like, cheap late tickets,
Exactly. Listen, if the Flyers are such a mess right now, you might be able to go to a Flyers game for free using our code.
Practically. Beer might be more expensive.
What was that?
The beer might be more expensive.
Yeah, the beer would be more expensive than your seat if you use our code PHIREDUPSPORTS with SEATGEEK. So some exciting stuff going on over there. Yeah. So how was your week? What have you been up to? Anything fun?
Just battling tonsillitis.
That's right. How are you feeling?
Yeah,
I saw you. What I see yesterday. It seemed like you were battling a little bit yesterday.
Yeah. Just it's a grind, man.
Fighting through the elements.
Yeah. I finally turned a corner today a little bit. It's been a rough couple days. Went to the hospital on Friday.
Doesn't feel like you're swallowing glass anymore.
No, small glass at this point.
Okay.
Not the heavy stuff.
Not the shards of glass.
Yes. I was on an IV on a bag. Very dehydrated. So
Okay.
that was basically my weekend. Was just
Nice.
most of it was laying in bed crying.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, trying to get through this trade deadline that happened on Friday.
Oh man, I guess
weren't aware of.
Yeah. I don't think Chuck Fletcher got the memo that the deadline was Friday. I guess you could kind of get into it. Because surprisingly, for the first time in a while, the Flyers were like the main story in Philadelphia this week, and all for the wrong reasons too.
Yeah, it's funny. I did more on Friday than Chuck Fletcher did, and I just laid in bed.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Well, listen, according to Chuck Fletcher, he took 17. He made 17 calls on Thursday.
There's 32 teams. Yeah, made 17.
Well, yeah, I mean, the math probably makes sense because probably half the league's probably buyers. So I guess 17 makes sense, and so obviously, people listening, if you're not caught up, I'm assuming everybody is. The Flyers really did nothing at the deadline. The deadline was Friday. Their big trade piece, and it's hard to really call him a big trade piece because he was never going to get a big haul, is James Van Riemsdyk. You're a selling team. You're not going to make the playoffs, obviously. James Van Riemsdyk is on the final year of his contract, so he's an expiring free agent. You're not going to re-sign him, I fucking hope. Still not convinced they won't, but because knowing the Flyers, but I'm hoping they don't. So you might as well use the deadline, get something for them, recoup assets. You're selling, and Friday's 3:00 deadline came and went, and he was still a Philadelphia Flyer. So
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, right. So yeah, I don't really. I had a whole there's so many things that I need to say, and I don't even know where to start. Because it's not even the return that they were gonna get for James Van Riemsdyk, because it was gonna be very minimal, a 3rd, 4th round pick at best. It's principle, the fact that you had to sell him. It's everything that you came into the deadline saying. Oh, we're trying to get younger. Oh, we're sellers. We're moving JVR. Every board, all the experts board, they had big trade boards. James Van Riemsdyk was the top of the list. And according to Chuck Fletcher, he didn't get a single offer for JVR or even a single call for JVR until 1:40 on deadline day. That's an hour and 20 minutes before the draft.
Right,
before the deadline. Sorry.
And guys were getting around the league were getting traded. We thought Tuesday was the deadline because there were 4 trades that happened on Tuesday. We were asking each other, is today the deadline?
Yeah. Because the big names started going a week, even
Patrick
2 weeks,
Kane,
even 2 weeks early. Tarasenko went to the Rangers 2 weeks prior. That's kind of where I think Fletcher fucked up. It's no secret this team was going to be selling at the deadline. But so you see players start getting traded 2 weeks early. The market's starting to set. And instead of acting on that, Chuck Fletcher had a price in mind, which came out today. It's a rumor. I don't know how true it is. But the report is that he was looking for a 2nd and a 3rd round pick for James Van Riemsdyk. I think that's fucking lunacy. I don't know where he expected to get that. Hey, listen, it's shit in one hand and wishing the other, see which one gets filled up first. But so he was hoping on that, didn't get it, waited too long, and all these trades started happening. A flurry of trades because they thought the price was too high. They went to the teams that wanted that were interested in JVR, got the piece that they needed to fill their lineup. So as the week went on and the closer we got to Friday, we're like, there's really not many teams. There's 1 or 2, 3 teams left. Like, who's going to take on JVR? Because all those teams have filled those spots up.
Right.
So it's very frustrating. I don't know how Chuck Fletcher still has a job after Friday.
And let's take a look at it as like through like the lens of the Flyers fan viewing Chuck Fletcher. It's not just he wasn't able to trade JVR. It's a long list of things in the past. How long has he been here? 5 years, 4 years, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long list. It's a laundry list. It's a CVS receipt list of
Right.
things that Chuck Fletcher has not been able to do. Chuck Fletcher has done wrong. Chuck Fletcher has, made the wrong decision. Whatever you want to say. There's been a long list of things, and this is just how is this not? How are the last 3 things not the nail in the coffin? Let alone this.
Right.
What is going to be the nail in the coffin? What is going to make the Flyers organization say, "All right, man, we gotta do something here"? Like, and I don't think it's like I don't know if the Flyers view like, oh, he didn't trade JVR, so we have to fire him. But like, again, this is a long list of things. It's not just one thing.
Well, to add to that, you know what makes me really nervous is
Tortorella?
the fact that
Is it Tortorella?
No, not
Okay.
Tortorella, and I'm going to get to that because I do have the clip of his press conference, and I do want to talk about that. The thing that makes me nervous is that I get the sense that Chuck Fletcher doesn't feel the pressure. Like it seems to me like he doesn't think he's on the hot seat, because if he felt that much pressure to move James Van Riemsdyk, like he would have moved them for a 7th. Like he would have got literally whatever he could have got for him, but he was holding firm to his 2nd or 3rd or 4th round pick. He was holding firm to his price, didn't get it, and refused to trade him because he wanted to win the deal. He wanted the price that he wanted. If he felt pressure from upper management to make the deal happen, he would have sold him for nothing.
I agree with that.
So the fact that he didn't makes me feel like he thinks he's safe. He's comfortable. He's sitting back. He's chilling.
Right. But that's the problem is like it. Like I was saying, like it's not just this one time thing. Like it's been a long list of things. It's where like he should have been maybe let go a long time ago, like 3 moves ago or three mess ups ago. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's frustrating, man. It really is. I don't know how you just don't. How do you're just gonna lose him anyway? So like I don't know how you just don't get the absolute best deal.
Failure. Yeah.
How do you not just get the absolute best thing you can?
Yep. Yeah. Like even if that is a 6th round pick, it's not what you wanted, but tough shit. You don't get to set the market. The market sets itself. If the market's not there for a 3rd round pick and the market is a 6th round pick, tough shit. Take the 6. But that player's probably never going to play for you. But it's principle. You make the trade. You get something for an asset that's not going to be here anymore. It's just bad asset management, and it's straight up neglect at that point. Like it's just franchise neglect.
Right.
But I did want to touch on the Tortorella thing. So this was John Tortorella. I do have a clip here to play. John Tortorella, the day it was either on deadline day or the day after, talking about not moving James Van Riemsdyk.
Do you not think he tried to move him? You guys kidding me? He tried like hell to move him. But sometimes other teams are interested. They got to do. There's so many different scenarios that went on, and I just don't get the criticism of James still being here. It's like Chuck held on to him. $7 million. We got to eat some of the money. Probably half of it. So many different, as I'm sure you guys know. So it just, Chuck tried, and but everybody wants to pile on.
Unfortunately for Chuck Fletcher, he doesn't get paid to try. He gets paid to do.
Right. Also, too, did I pick this up right where Tortorella said like we could have to pay like half his contract?
Yeah, they were going to have to eat money. He makes $7 million.
But here's the thing, though. They didn't trade him, so they're paying him $7 million anyway. Like,
true.
Like,
yep.
Like, I would have retained half his salary to get a 4th round, 5th round pick, whatever it is.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like,
And
So
they
that-
were willing. They
that's
were
a
willing. They
moot
were willing to
argument?
do that. They were willing to do that,
Right.
according to sources. Like they were fine eating money.
Right. So like you don't move him and you're paying him $7 million. That's like a stupid argument in my opinion.
It is, but I don't know that he. I think he was just kind of talking there. Like I don't think he said, "Oh well, he's got $7 million and we don't want to eat half of it." I think he's saying it's a large cap hit, and even if we have to eat half, it's still a lot of money for teams to bring in. Is the way I took it.
Okay.
But and Torrell's the kind of guy, he doesn't care what people think. He's willing to, he's willing
Sure.
to give his thoughts but I hate the fact, and it's his general manager. What's he supposed to do? But like, instead of saying, well, why are you guys piling on? Like, well, why are you guys so like angry? Like, oh, he tried. Just say, like, listen, JVR's here, and he's gonna be a professional while he's here. Sucks to I wish we could have saw him move on and hopefully compete to win a Stanley Cup. But he's here. It is what it is. I just don't like I don't even know what word to describe it. Just I don't know. I'm lost. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
It's not like JVR doesn't have value either, especially to playoff teams. A big body to get in front of the net during the playoffs, I
mean,
that's value.
You would think
Right.
he does, but at the same time, the day before the deadline, or after the deadline, Chuck Fletcher said the day before, he got 2 calls the entire day on Thursday. 2, and only one of them were for JVR.
Right.
So, for some reason, the market wasn't there for JVR. And what does that have to say? What does that have to say about the roster you built? The fact that there's only 2 teams asking about players on your team. What does that say about the roster you built? Clearly, the GMs around the league don't care for your roster. They don't care about any one of your players.
Right. Also, too, you, as a GM, aren't you, you're supposed to also be like a salesman too?
Yeah.
I'm gonna use an Entourage reference. Pick up your fucking phone and call somebody. I know he made calls, but still, just pitch them, sell them.
It seems like there was no interest for JVR. It's your job to get that interest around the league.
Make him sexy. Yes.
Exactly. Yes. Put lipstick on a pig. I don't care. Try it.
Right.
And this comes, 5 days, maybe not even, a couple days after Rangers fan took over the Wells Fargo Center. It felt like I was there. It felt like you were in Madison Square Garden, and this comes after that. It's weird because every 6 months I feel like we're sitting here and we're talking about the new low that the franchise is at, and it's never been this low. I can't remember a time where it's been this low. And literally every few months we're saying the same thing when we just get lower and lower and lower on ourselves. It's unfortunate. I don't know what the answer is, because even if they do move on from Chuck Fletcher, I don't trust Danny Briere to take the reins.
Before we get into that, because I did kind of want to touch on that a little bit. But you sit here and you're saying you don't know how much lower we can get, and we were saying that not even 6 months ago. We were saying that 2 years ago. We were sitting here saying it seems like they don't have a plan 2 years ago. Then we were saying a year ago it seems like they don't have a plan, or they don't know what the plan is, or they can't commit to a plan, or whatever. There was just no clear cut way that they were going to do this. And now 6 months ago we were saying the same thing, and now it's just what the hell is going on with this franchise? Not even so much, the last 5 years of Chuck Fletcher, but just even overall, this team hasn't won a cup since '75. You know what I mean? And obviously they've had some success, especially in our lifetimes. The
early 2000s,
the first 20 years of our lives, they've had a lot of success, but it's just you're right. It's every 6 months, it's for the last 5 years at least, it's always been just what's the plan? What are we doing here? And it just seems like they ask the same questions to each other, and it's just it's frustrating. I don't get it either.
Yeah, I think, and this is a completely like different topic, but part of me wonders because you think about the success that they did have in the '90s and in the early 2000s, and one thing that changed around the NHL was in 2005 when the lockout came. Post 2005, the NHL added a thing called the salary cap. So before 2005, the Flyers, one of the richest teams in the league, were able to just throw money everywhere.
Right.
And for whatever reason, post that, they had a couple nice runs in 2010, and they were a little competitive in 2012, and like they had their runs, but they haven't been able to keep a stable franchise from 2005 onward to today, building an entire roster under the salary cap. For whatever reason, they just haven't figured out ways to do it. And I don't know if it's because the same guys that were building teams prior to the salary cap are still here in the front office, still making decisions like that. I think that's what it boils down to. That's a gigantic problem.
Right. And that kind of leads into like the Danny Briere thing. And as much as I love Danny Briere as a player, we both grew up watching him.
Sure.
It's these people that want to get rid of Bill Barber and Bobby Clark and Paul Holmgren. It's like, but they want Danny Briere. It's like listen, he might work out, he might not. I don't know, but you're going in that same mold again. What are we doing here?
Yeah, and the thing about Danny Briere is, he's done his work when it comes to like being in the front office. He was with Maine, who is an ECHL team. Like he's kind of done his time working his way up the ranks.
Sure. But at the same time, I'm not saying he can't work out or won't work out, but so did Hextall. Like Hextall was a former player in LA.
Yeah.
Right. He learned the job in LA and came here, and obviously we know what happened. But that's not saying Briere can't do it or
no. My biggest issue with promoting Briere is he's learning on the job from all these shitheads in the front office today.
Right.
Like this is a course of what not to do. So maybe he could learn and be a good GM because he's seeing what not to do. But at the same time, he's learning from the guys in charge currently, and the guys in charge are doing a flat out shitty job.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't even know where to go with the conversation because it's frustrating. I mean, the one saving grace is they legitimately have a chance at Connor Bedard, like a better chance than it looked like they were going to have back in December or January.
Right,
because they actually
when they won 8 of 10,
right?
Or was it 8 of 10 or something like that?
Something like that. Yeah, because they were winning. Yeah, because they went on the California road trip.
Yeah, they
played
won 5 games.
Yeah, they played shitty LA, the shitty California teams, and then they came back and they won a couple more. Yeah, so they went on a tear, but then now they're starting to lose again, even though they just won on Sunday. But I think they're 7th from the bottom now, or 8th. They might be 8th, but they could easily. I mean, keep losing games, you could be in the 5th or 6th worst in the league.
Right.
And it's a lottery, so hopefully the ping pong balls go your way.
Yeah, I mean, it's, we're crossing fingers and crossing toes here.
Yep, exactly. But I just, after the trade deadline that they did have, I don't know how he still has a job. I don't even know if he's going to get fired at the end of the season. Because, again, it's the mixed emotion.
Well, I was just gonna say. What actually really blew my mind last year, like this past off season, was when they signed what's his name, Delorier or
Delorier.
Delorier.
Yep.
They gave him a 4-year deal.
Yep.
Like that guy. Like that guy got a 4-year deal
for a 4th line
for a 4th line guy who dropped gloves.
And it's got a modified no trade clause. So if they just wanted to trade him, he basically gets a say of where he goes.
I genuinely think Chuck Fletcher is just doing this for fun. He's just having a good time.
Listen, Delorier, he's one of the most respected guys in the league when it comes to fighting and hitting, and
sure,
he's really well liked in the locker room. The 1.75 or whatever it is million cap hit that he has isn't bad. That's not gonna hamstring you against the cap because it's a very small number. It's the fact that you gave him a 4-year deal. He's 32 or 33 years old. You gave him a 4-year deal for a 4th line enforcer type. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And guess what? if they were the 08, 09 Flyers with Riley Cote, or the 05, 06 Flyers with Donald Brashear, where you have a guy that can, be an enforcer for you, which I don't even think hockey's played that way anymore necessarily. But I mean, we saw this team 2-3 years ago; they were just get pushed around. But so I think that's a positive, because you don't want anybody get your teammates getting pushed around like they were 2 years ago. But it's just, I don't know. It's just a head scratcher. It really,
and
really is.
then you go to other deals, like you give up a second to get rid of Ghost, and then
Right.
Ghost gets traded this deadline for a third. But you trade a second to get rid of him, and then you bring in a very similar style player, Antonio DeAngelo, and you give up 3 more draft picks for him. So you essentially gave up 4 draft picks for DeAngelo.
Right.
And then you gave up a ransom for Ristolainen. And those two guys aren't, I mean, they're not old, but they're not young. When you say we're trying to get younger, prove it. What have you done to try to get younger? Nothing. I mean,
Nothing.
And then this deadline, we haven't talked about it yet, but this deadline they traded Zach McEwen, who's whatever. Traded Zach McEwen for Brendan Lemieux and a 5th-round pick. I don't know if you want to get into any of that. Zach McEwen's probably worth a 5th-round pick. It seemed like LA just threw in Brendan Lemieux because they were trying to move. They were going to move Emmanuel. Apparently, they had a deal. It was McEwen for a 5th, and then Rob Blake, who is the GM of the Kings, said, "Well, we can do that. Let me try to move out Brendan Lemieux first." And then Chuck Fletcher was like, "We'll just take him instead of you trying to do something else. We'll just take him."
So just taking on salary because there's a free agent at the end of the year.
He's
Chuck
a free
Fletcher
agent.
knows a lot about that.
Yeah, exactly. He's a free agent at the end of the year. He's not old, but he's not young.
Right.
It's kind of a reclamation project, which is what they basically said they wanted to do. Get reclamation projects. He's not going to be an Owen Tippett because Owen Tippett was younger and has a pedigree of being a top draft pick. But Brendan Lemieux plays the perfect John Tortorella game. Hits everything that moves. Tough son of a bitch. Hasn't worked out in the NHL. He's just kind of been a 4th liner. It's basically a 20-game tryout for him. I don't think he'll be on the roster next year, but he's friends with Tony DeAngelo, so who knows? Because they play together in New York.
Right.
So, and then
With
the other
Chuck
move
Fletcher's
they did,
the GM, you have no fucking idea what's going on.
Right, exactly. And then the other move is they traded Patrick Brown for a 6th-round pick. Sure, whatever.
Right.
That was their deadline. A team that's supposed to be selling received a 5th-round pick, a 6th-round pick, and Brendan Lemieux. And that is your trade deadline.
I mean, all of that on top of all of the stuff you said about Ghost, you get trading picks to trade him, on top of giving Sanheim that contract, on top of
that's crazy. Like, I think Sanheim's a fine player. I think he's
right.
I think he's an average player with some above average moments and some below average moments. I think he's very streaky in that way. But the fact that like the team is as bad as they've been, I don't think anybody should get an 8-year contract. Like, nobody on this team deserves it.
Let me ask you this.
And he would have been their by far their greatest trade piece if he was still expiring at the end of this deal or at the end of this year, and he would have been a restricted free agent. You could have gotten a really good haul for Sanheim if you didn't have that 8-year extension. Sorry, go ahead. Ask your question.
So we're just stacking up things about Chuck Fletcher has messed up on in his time here.
Yep.
How do you feel about the Ryan Ellis trade now, and the Sean Couturier extension? Does that when you're looking at Chuck Fletcher's resume at the end of his career when he retires one day, and we look at his time in Philadelphia, do you hold it against him for trading for Ryan Ellis because and re-signing or extending Couturier to that deal? Obviously, you don't know. People are going to get hurt, this and the other, but you have to. I mean, do you have to know a little bit, like about Ellis's history? I don't know.
The Ellis one's weird because, and everything they've told us, and
what was that deal? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was Nolan Patrick for Philippe Myers, which is why I'm not going to kill the deal because they gave up nothing. They gave
for
up
Ryan
a guy,
for Ellis.
for Ryan Ellis. They gave up Nolan Patrick and Philippe Myers.
Okay.
And Nolan Patrick's probably also never going to play again. He's got injury issues. He's a mess.
Yeah.
And Philippe Myers is bouncing around the league as a depth defenseman. He's like a fringe NHLer at this point. So they gave up nothing. So I'm not going to crucify him for that. And they thought Ryan Ellis was going to be Provorov's Matt Niskanen. Because if you remember when they had Matt Niskanen, Provorov looked fucking great. I didn't like Niskanen's.
It was been Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, like Niskanen's a good defenseman. He's not spectacular. He's not bad. He's a very solid, sound defenseman. I never thought that would be the guy that is, everything for Ivan Provorov because he hasn't looked the same since. It hasn't looked that good since. But they were trying to find that version, and they thought Ryan Ellis was it. Apparently, he got hurt in the preseason, tried to play. Played like 4 games, got hurt for like a month or 2, tried to come back, played a 5th game, and we haven't seen him since. I know they said it didn't it didn't happen in Nashville, and this was a new injury from when he got here. But part of me thinks there was something underneath the surface because why is Nashville trading Ryan Ellis for that little? Why are they just giving him away? So they knew something. Something's off with that deal.
Okay, so going back to my original question, when you're looking at his resume when he retires, and you look at the Philadelphia section of Chuck Fletcher's resume, do you hold that against Chuck Fletcher?
I don't think we're going to look at those deals as the falling of Chuck Fletcher.
No. I'm not saying that's the falling. I'm just saying, just as a whole, we're just stacking up things.
No, I don't. Really put that against, I don't put that against him because I think they gave up such little value, that it was worth the shot.
Okay.
I think it was worth the shot.
I was just curious.
And the Sean Couturier thing, that was a biggest criticism for the 8-year deal or 7-year deal, whatever he ended up getting. I forget what it was. It was a while ago. That was a criticism. Is like Sean Couturier has hard miles. He's been playing since he's 19. He plays. I don't want to say a nasty game, but he gets in the dirty areas because he's a good defender. Injuries are a possibility with Sean Couturier. He has a history of them. So like injuries was always going to be a concern when you give him that long deal. Now the cap hit wasn't super high for what the ceiling of Sean Couturier could be, because I think the absolute ceiling Sean Couturier is worth more than 7.75 or whatever he ended up getting. I forget the exact number. And long-term injury reserve's a thing, so if he is injured, stash him on LTIR, and you're not spending that cap money. Like you can still use that cap. So I don't put either deal really against him.
No, I was just curious.
Like the ones you put against them is looking back now, the Tony DeAngelo deal, the Ghost deal, the Rasmus Salina deal, which I think a lot of people will go to. Those will be kind of the main ones. And even we talk about this JVR talk today. Even going back to last offseason when a star player Johnny Gaudreau wants to come here, and you try like hell to move JVR, or apparently he didn't even try. He just said, "What did he say? Moving contracts is hard." I think is where his was his exact quote. So I don't even know how much he actually tried. When it comes down to Chuck Fletcher, it's his lack of creativity. He has zero creativity, and I also don't understand how he's been in the league for as long as he has in general manager roles when he has zero playoff success. Like, I don't know that any team of his has made it out of like the second round ever, and he's been in the league for what, 20 years,
something like that. Yeah,
I'd have to look at his exact playoff resume, but it's not a good one.
Yeah,
so he's never built a true winner.
Right.
I mean, at what point do we look back and see this isn't working? So I don't know. I'm angry. Yeah, and, it's because who knows when it gets better, if it does get better. It looks very bleak, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
So, all right, you got anything else before we move on?
No.
Hoping
they can,
Yeah. Speaking of shitty situations, we just can't have nice things in Philadelphia, can we? Because Andrew Painter gets hurt. And we don't know like what an update. The fact that we haven't had an update yet, it scares me.
Did you see his Instagram post from yesterday?
No.
Here, I'll try to read it. I'll try to grab it. Hold on. I thought it was kind of funny because like, everybody's like went around for an update, and he just posts a picture of him like just stretching, and it says spring training things with a palm tree emoji.
That was yesterday.
Yeah. So I think he's okay. Yeah, I think
that's
he's
kind
like,
of
okay.
Yeah, but it's just weird. I don't know if I feel like there would have been an update now if it wasn't like serious. And obviously, he's 19 years old. His long-term health is far more important than him missing a month of the season. Yeah. So I'm not that worried about it. It just would have been exciting to see him make the team out of camp and pitch. He
still might.
In April. He still might. Yeah, totally.
Yep. These things take time.
Absolutely.
Sometimes. So.
Do you see what happens Wednesday? This coming Wednesday. Bryce reports to camp.
Okay.
There you go.
He's not gonna play though.
Right? No, I don't. Yeah. I assume he's gonna start swinging a bat. At least.
I think he already started.
Oh, I meant like he's gonna swing the bat down there. Is what I meant.
Okay.
Like, I imagine he's gonna do that. I don't know if he'll take any live at bats in spring training.
No.
But yeah, I assume he's gonna swing a bat down there at least. But
I wouldn't be surprised if he's back by like May. Honestly.
Well, they said
like
what All-Star break, which is July.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I could see May. His body just heals, man. It's weird.
He's different. It's different.
He really like. There's a reason he's a professional athlete. Like
right.
Their bodies just are different.
Right. Not me. I have tonsillitis for 6 days, and
yeah.
He probably have it for 6 hours. So
yeah. You tore your meniscus playing co-ed softball.
Yeah. Yep.
And he gets Tommy John. He's gonna be back in 4 weeks.
Yeah, Tommy John. He's ripping homers in the World Series.
Yeah, right.
Crazy.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's nuts. It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, there's. So who do you think that fifth pitcher spot is?
Really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So it wasn't a meniscus. It was a tiny tear.
Okay.
Tiny hair.
Yeah.
The tear in my quad. So you know what's funny? I literally have I'm like a 75-year-old geriatric piece of shit because I have to like at bowling every week I have to take medicine because my leg hurts. Like after I'll be like halfway through the second game, like the third or fourth or fifth frame of the second game, be like my fucking leg is killing me. Like I gotta like I'm just like this old person. Like they were just like, you gotta live with it forever. And I'm like, oh great, 26 and ready to die.
Dude,
like
oh yeah, dude, it's brutal. My shoulder's been fucked up like from playing hockey. Like literally, I remember specifically it was one injury in hockey. The guy was winding up to dump the puck in the zone at center ice, and I try to blindside him. I'm coming out of nowhere. I think he doesn't see me, so I'm like, all right, I got the edge. As soon as I go to make contact with him, he looks his head up and throws his shoulder. And he's much bigger than I was. Throws his shoulder at me, and ever since then, my shoulder's been fucked up. I was like 12 or 13. So like the older I get now, it just starts hurting for no reason. I'm gonna have to get this looked at some point because it's like the last week or two, it's been hurting like a motherfucker. Like I'll sleep on it in one way, and it'll start popping in the middle of the night.
Yeah,
my elbow or my shoulder just lock up, and my arm will just make random movements. It's very weird.
What
happens at old age?
When I was in the hospital on Friday, the nurse, he was chiseled like 6'5", chiseled like. So he was like putting the IV in. He's like, how do you feel about needles? I'm like, oh, they don't bother me, whatever. So he takes my blood, gives me the IV, and he's like, have you ever had an IV before? I'm like, yeah, when I was like 13, I had a concussion. He's like, oh, what did you do? I was like, oh, I was playing football. He's like, oh, what position? I'm like, nah, man, I was playing street football.
I was at the school ball. Yeah, I was at the schoolyard.
Yeah.
It was 7-on-7.
Nah, man. Yeah. I was like, nah, I'm not that guy.
No.
But
funny.
Yeah, so you just dude, every week I just throw the ball and I'm like, my leg killing me.
It's brutal.
But yeah, anyway,
it's like your leg, not your arm. I mean, I guess there's a lot of like leg movements and I don't know. In bowling, I guess
it's my plant leg, I guess. So like,
okay,
right? No, I mean,
don't know.
I guess it is kind of my plant leg. So I guess it's just from, you get 10 minutes of practice before
That's too much for you old guys.
Well,
10
no,
minutes is too
and
much
well, that's
now.
the thing. That's the thing is I try to throw as much as I can in those 10 minutes. So
Yeah, so you're burnt out.
I'm legit throwing the ball like 50 times.
Yeah, you're burnt out.
Right?
After,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
burnt out
I'm
after
legitimately
warm-ups.
trying to throw the ball like 50 times on Tuesday nights. So
Yeah, see, you're burnt out by the
30-ish, 30-ish times. Well, I guess I'm not throwing strikes, but
You just,
I guess
just
it's more than-
casually bowling 300s every week.
yeah, right, right. So yeah, I'm probably throwing like 60, 65,
Right. Yeah. Oh,
But-
that's funny.
give or take. But
Back to my original question. Back to the Phillies.
yeah,
Who do you think takes that fifth reliever or the fifth starting spot? Or do you think they go
It's not
six?
Painter?
If it's not Painter.
I think eventually they're going to try to go at 6 because they just know that Nola and Wheeler work better.
Yep.
On the extra
On
day
the
rest.
extra day, yeah.
I think in 10 years that's just the future of the league anyway.
Yeah, I'm curious what that'll do to like pitchers' contracts, like because pitchers I think make so much
and
money to pitch.
longevity.
Yeah, true. But pitchers make so much money to pitch one every 5 days,
Right.
and they don't go deep into games as much as they used to. So it's kind of crazy to be giving pitchers this much money, like what they've been getting, because you're pitching what 30, 35 times a year
Right.
out of 162 games. It doesn't make sense to give a pitcher that much money.
When
don't know.
I was a kid, right? So I grew up in the city. I don't, obviously you knew that, but
Yeah.
so I used to get a tennis ball and my glove, and I used to throw the ball against my house basically
Yeah,
every day.
the brick house. Yep.
So the guy who lived across the street from us was like an older guy, and he was old time baseball. We used to talk all the time, and he used to tell me like, oh, when you're older, he said become a pitcher. He's like, they make all the money. I'm like, yeah, definitely, blah blah blah. Like, I was 12. I thought I was going to play for the Phillies one day. So
Right.
he was like, he's like, you become a closer. They make even more money and they work even less.
Seriously.
So I was like, yeah, sign me up.
That's why that's a cliche. Is like, if you're going to be in the NFL, what's the greatest position you could possibly have?
Kicker.
Well, kicker probably one or two. But I was going to say backup quarterback.
Right.
Backup
Long
quarterback.
snapper.
Or long snapper. But not backup quarterback. You're still making millions. And you're never called upon. You just practice.
Right. Right. But I think eventually I think they will go 6-man. I guess it all really depends on what's happening with Painter.
Yeah.
But I think Falter's probably going to get that 5th spot. If
Yeah.
he's not.
Yeah, I think they trust Falter. I mean, he was one of their more consistent guys down the stretch last year.
Yeah, of course. Dude, there was one point we were talking, not just you and I, but like, on the show, the whole city was talking about, if the Phillies make the playoffs in September, if the Phillies make the playoffs in October, who pitches in that wild card round?
Yeah,
and there were some people who literally were saying, and I was one at one point, man, Falter's been really hot. I think he ride the hot hand.
Yep.
And
absolutely.
obviously that wasn't the case, but I'd find that very funny.
Yeah, yeah, right. That is funny. Yeah, I think they trust him, and I completely throw out his outing in the World Series. I know we got rocked, but like it was such an unfair position to put him in. Like he didn't pitch for like 3 weeks before that. Like he was very rusty. I throw that out. He was very good all season, really good down the stretch. I think he'll end up in the 5th spot in the rotation until either Painter comes back or they go to a 6-man. I think he'll be in the rotation though.
Yeah.
So, moving on a little bit, dude. Bomer homers, man. Bohm he's looking good. Looking good.
Dude. Well, did you hear why he said he put on the weight?
No.
Because all right, so it kind of disappoints me a little bit.
Okay.
He said what was it, 15 pounds or whatever?
15, yeah, supposedly. Yeah. Yep.
He said, yeah, I heard this the other day, and I wanted to get your thoughts on this. He said the reason I put on 15 pounds is because I knew I'm going to lose the weight during the season. So I guess he basically said, yeah, I'm not really planning on doing anything different.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if the overs are worth it.
That's interesting. So does that mean
I'm still firing him in.
So does that mean this spring is going to be kind of fluky because he's a little bulked up right now?
Right.
but by I don't know, May or
July,
June,
August.
yeah, he's gonna slow down. His home runs are gonna.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know.
I thought you were talking about weight.
Well, he's gonna go down in weight, yeah, but
Well, I meant
his
he
power
might
could be
go down.
affected.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
absolutely. I thought you were meant like his weight's going to go back down to 15 pounds by May. I don't think that's the case. I think
Well,
I think probably a little later in the season.
yeah,
If
maybe.
if he's losing weight rapidly, maybe, but I don't know.
Yeah,
A lot of people forget.
I guess it is tough. I guess it is tough to kind of bulk up during the season because you're swinging a bat so much. You don't want to constantly lift in the season, and your arms are fucking sore.
Right.
So I mean, I guess that makes sense.
A lot of people forget he wasn't on the opening day lineup. So
Yeah,
that'll be interesting this year. With
but I mean, that is the thing though. When he got drafted, it seemed like he had all this pop and all this power, and we really haven't seen it. Like we've seen glimpses of it, but we really haven't seen it at the major league level.
Right.
So the fact that he did put on a little muscle and it got me all hot and bothered. I'm excited. And even if he loses the weight, he's hitting dingers right now. So.
Yep.
So I'm excited.
Yep.
There's really nothing else Phillies wise, right?
Not really. I mean,
is WBC tomorrow?
The first game. It's either tomorrow or Wednesday.
Okay.
But the U.S. doesn't play till Saturday.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's Saturday they play, and then they play the one day they play at 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock, or 7 o'clock and 10 o'clock. They have like two different rosters going, which is kind of strange. Let's see if I can find it.
So Wednesday, March 8th, the first game, 6 a.m.
Oh, is it March 8th?
Yeah. Not the USA.
Oh, okay. Wait, no, I have Tuesday. 7th.
I lied. It is Tuesday. I don't know why it went to Wednesday.
Yeah,
first.
Cuba versus the Netherlands.
Yep, 11 p.m. Yep, I do see that.
But I'm not going to be awake to watch that. So.
No, me neither. When's the Saturday game? Hold on, let me go to Saturday. Hold on. USA is 9 p.m.
Yeah, 9 o'clock
versus Great Britain.
That should be a 15-0 game.
Do I have a roster? I mean, I know we do this every week, but what is Great Britain's roster? Hold on, where you at?
Harry Styles is leading off.
Yeah, there you go. Donovan Benoit, Malik Binns. Let me see. Let me go names that I recognize. I'm going down the list. I don't really see anybody. Mackenzie Mills. That looks like a guy.
I didn't even know they played baseball.
There's not a single person on this list that I recognize. Oh, I lied. The last picture I noticed is a Phillies legend, and I use legend very, very, very lightly. He had a very good rookie year. He was a pitcher. Do you think
Vance Worley?
Vance Worley.
No way.
Yep.
No way.
Vance Worley. Yep.
Wow.
I don't recognize any catcher. Don't recognize any infielder. Outfielders, no. Okay, yeah, this. Yep, 15-0. Hammer the USA on the spread. I don't know what the spread is, but hammer. Can you bet on this? You know what?
I think you can.
I'm gonna have to check.
Then they play Mexico on Sunday.
Okay, I mean that'll be a little closer probably. Like Mexico's probably half decent, right?
Mexico's really good, yeah. They're probably top 5. But that's at 10 p.m.
10 p.m. when? Sunday?
Yeah.
I gotta get up early for work. That's on Monday.
10 p.m. Oh, they have a 7 o'clock on the 13th, but we'll be doing the show.
Okay.
We could watch a little bit of it. They have a 7 o'clock and a 10 o'clock. They play Israel, which Garrett Stubbs plays for. That's who he plays for. And then they play Canada at 10 o'clock.
Right. I'm trying to see. It won't let me bet on individual WBC games. It'll just let me bet on a winner. Of
the winner.
Yeah.
But they play Colombia
on
the 15th.
I don't like that. Why can't I bet on the game? Why can't I bet on WBC games? Yeah, it's I don't like it. Win pool A. So who? I mean, I think we talked about this last week. Who do you think the favorite is to win the whole thing?
Dominican Republic. They're
Yep.
they're stacked.
Plus 210 Dominican Republic. Who do you think's next?
It's U.S.
Plus 260. Who do you think's third?
Puerto Rico.
No.
Japan.
Yep. Japan. Plus
Yeah, then it's Puerto Rico, right?
Nope.
I know Korea is down pretty low.
They're after this team.
Okay. Venezuela?
Yep, Venezuela. Then Korea.
Then Puerto Rico?
Nope.
Jesus. Puerto Rico came in second the last two tournaments.
Not on this list yet.
All right, so what do we got? We got Dominican Republic, the U.S., Japan,
Venezuela, Korea, and then this team.
I know Italy's like in the top 8 or whatever, top 10.
They might be around 10-ish.
The Netherlands?
Nope.
Cuba?
Nope.
Am I forgetting like a big one? Canada?
Yeah, Mexico.
Oh, Mexico, okay.
And then who's after Mexico?
Canada?
No.
Puerto Rico?
Yep, Puerto Rico. And then Cuba,
Okay.
Netherlands, Chinese, Canada, Italy, Colombia, and who gives a shit about the rest?
Yeah.
So there you go.
Interesting.
Yeah, totally. You got anything else you want to talk about? It's a little bit of a short show. There's really not a ton of news. There was an Eagles point I wanted to talk about, but I forget what I was going to say. I don't know.
Matt Patricia?
Oh, that's come out. I don't know that we talked about the offensive and defensive coordinators on the show.
I don't think so, but I think Chris might be the best person to talk to about
Probably.
that.
I don't know much about the much about the defensive coordinator that they got.
I am excited for the offensive coordinator.
I was about to say the one thing I do like the fact Brian Johnson, I believe is their guy, right? Yeah, I do like the fact that they went with him because we keep hearing about how Jalen Hurts has never had the same system 2 years in a row, and this was his first time in his basically life that he had it. And you lose the offensive coordinator, QB coach theoretically could keep the same system, some stability. I like that hire, or I like that promotion rather.
He's known him since he's a kid, so.
But that also comes into play, absolutely.
Yeah. But I know nothing about the defensive coordinator. A lot of people really like the move, though. So.
Well, from what I'm hearing, he's not really a big blitzer, which is everything that we want in our defensive coordinator after watching Jim Schwartz and Jonathan Gannon both not blitz at all. So I'm curious if it'll be different. I don't know.
But I also kind of think that's not a popular thing in the NFL anymore. Really,
it's really not.
There's only a few guys that really do that, and I think the one guy they interviewed blitzes the most. He just went to Denver.
Vance Joseph.
Yes,
right.
I think it is. Yeah,
because he was in Denver as a head coach, and now I think he's going back as a coordinator. I think.
I don't know, but he blitzes everything. He was in Arizona. That's where he was. He blitz every other play.
Oh, maybe I'm not thinking of. Maybe it's not Vance Joseph that I'm thinking of. Maybe somebody else. Yeah, I mean, well, nowadays in the NFL, I don't. Again, not a lot of people blitz. It's more like the design, the schemes that it seem like you're doing one thing, and it's trick things that these guys like to run. Which there was no creativity and no kind of shifting and movement in Gannon's defense, and the offenses knew exactly what was coming. Exactly what the defense was in every time.
Right,
and they could just exploit it. It's gonna be so fun watching him fail miserably. Pew, pew, pew. Shots, explosives.
Pew, 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 pew.
So NFL free agency is what, next week?
The 15th, I think, maybe.
How did the Raiders release Derek Carr? How is he signing deals already?
So I don't know how it
rumor?
worked exactly. No, it's real.
Okay.
Greg Olson did that a couple years ago. He signed before the free agency period started.
I
think if you release them by a certain day, you're allowed to visit, and because he visited the Jets, I think he's visited obviously the Saints and somewhere else, maybe
the Saints,
Carolina.
I like the Saints.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think Derek Carr is anything special. I think
No.
he's like an average run-of-the-mill quarterback.
Sure.
But they've been looking for a quarterback desperately since Breeze, and he's better than anything they had since then.
Yeah, of course.
So.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Are they going to sign Garner Johnson? I'm getting nervous. I'm not going to lie. I'm getting nervous.
Yeah. I mean,
I
I
think it
think
would
they have a
happen.
whole. They
I
have.
think it would
They have.
happen
They have time. They have a week.
I guess.
I think it'll happen.
It's making me nervous. I don't like it.
Yeah.
Get
I don't
it
know.
done. You got anything else on your mind, or are we making this a shorter show this week?
Yeah, I think I'm trying to pull. We're trying to pull rabbits out of a hat here.
Exactly.
But there's
There's
just
really not much.
it's just-
Listen, we had Jeopardy ready to go. I have a whole board. We're going to do Fully Sports Jeopardy again, and Chris had to work tonight, so we couldn't make that happen. So maybe we'll do that next week. But other than that, there's really kind of nothing to talk about in the news.
Yeah, it's March.
What are the Sixers? What are the Sixers doing?
They were up. They're playing Indiana tonight. Let's see. Oh, they won 147 to 143.
This team is incredibly confusing. Also, there's just no defense. 143.
147 to 143.
There
It
is
might have
no
went
defense.
overtime.
There's no defense at all in these games.
That's not true.
Scored 150 points. No defense.
It's one game.
Did it go in over? Oh, they scored 133. They let up 130 2 nights ago.
But that game went to overtime.
It still seems high. Maybe 5 minutes overtime inflates it a little bit, but
Look at the 6 games before that: 110, 101, 110,
147.
101.
Wild.
No, it is a lot, but
Did it go in overtime tonight?
I don't. It's not telling me.
Then I assume it didn't. That's
Yeah, I guess it did.
insane.
It was a big first 2 quarters.
How
They
many
almost
did?
scored. Yo, it was 78, 70, 79, 78 at half.
79, 70. I mean, it's nuts.
That's
It's crazy.
That's math off the top of my head.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a big first half.
And B42, Maxey 24. What's the deal with Maxey? Are they gonna like start starting him? I know he played a lot of minutes tonight. So is he back in the starting lineup or what?
Yeah. He's been
Yeah.
the last 2 or 3 games. He's been back in the starting lineup.
They should keep him. They should keep him there. Like Maxey's a guy that I want when he has the issues. I want him to work his way out of it. Like I want him to find his way out of it.
Well, that's what I was telling somebody last week. After our show last week, and obviously before this one, in between our shows, that like it's like the Flyers with Morgan Frost. Was I saying this on the show last week?
We might have. Yeah, possibly.
Like they just didn't give him a chance to
we
really.
did say this.
And I kind of felt that way with Maxey. So obviously and I said on the last week's show, Girardi didn't give Stott the chance.
Yep,
And
I think it's
you gotta give these kids a chance to really try to succeed. But yes, he is back in the starting lineup. The biggest problem right now with me with the Sixers is the lack of perimeter defense. Like they just give up so many wide open threes. It's not even funny.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's why they're giving up 143 points
To the Pacers.
Right. The Pacers any good? Who do they even have?
Tyrese Halliburton. That's about it.
Yeah, I'll listen. People.
They're
that are
7
listening to
games
this-
under 500.
The Pacers.
Yes.
And if anybody listening to the show knows by now that I'm not the biggest NBA fan, so I couldn't name a single player.
Tyrese Halliburton's a really good player. He's a guy that I probably
He dropped 40 tonight.
Yeah, he there were talks about trading for him instead of Harden last year. I would have really liked him. He's like 23, 24, a 1-2 guy, guard.
I do know Buddy Hield too. I know Hield.
Buddy Hield's okay.
Was he really good in college? I remember that name for some
Yeah,
reason. I don't know why.
He was big in the tournament. Yeah, he was really big in the
That's
tournament.
probably where I know him. Yeah.
He was the Ben Simmons year. Ben Simmons. Who else
What
was in
pick
that
did he go
draft?
in the draft?
Like 5 or 6, maybe.
Yeah. What was that?
Sacramento. What do you mean?
Who went in the top 5? Like, who was after Simmons?
Brandon Ingram was 2.
He's had a really good career, right? I know
He's been pretty good. He's been
Yeah.
pretty good.
What year was that? Was that 2017? 16?
Is either 16 or 17. It might have been 17. You might be right. It was Ben Simmons.
No, it was 2016. You were right.
16. Brandon Ingram was 2. Who the fuck was 3? Was it a big guy?
Hold on. No.
I know Donovan Mitchell went like 12.
No. 3's a damn good player. Probably the
Yeah?
best in the top 5. Yeah. Celtics.
Who did he get drafted by?
Celtics.
Oh, Tatum.
No.
Oh, Jaylen Brown?
Jaylen Brown, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, Tatum was the full tier.
Right, which is a year or two prior.
After.
Oh, it was after?
Mhm.
Fultz was after Simmons?
Mhm.
For some reason, I feel like we were dealing with the Fultz thing way sooner than the Simmons thing.
Nah. Nah, Fultz was 2017.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown, yeah. He probably should be the number 1 pick.
Yeah, no, he's a damn
what was
really
Mitchell?
good player.
Mitchell was somewhere between 8 and 12.
Mitchell wasn't in this draft.
Oh, maybe he was the year. You know, he was the year after because Ben Simmons was fighting with him for the Rookie of the Year, but Simmons didn't play his first year.
Your boy was in this draft.
Yeah,
Sixers draft pick. He's definitely not your boy. I was just making that up.
no, okay.
Furkan.
Ah, boy. Oh, God.
It's your boy.
This will throw him in the mouth.
That's your boy. No, there's really not a ton of names on here. Sabonis. It's a nice name.
Okay.
Right? He's pretty good.
Yeah,
Right?
Sabonis is a really good player. Yeah,
He went 11 overall. Jamal Murray went 7.
he's okay.
Buddy Hield went
He's
6.
nice.
Chris Dunn went 5. Dragon Bender.
Yeah,
went
Dragon
6.
Bender. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought Chris Dunn was. I actually kind of wanted the Sixers to pick Chris Dunn, move back and pick Chris Dunn. I thought Chris Dunn was going to be really good. He might not even be playing in China. That's how bad he is.
So yeah, I've never even heard the name. I couldn't even tell.
Where he went to Minnesota, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to
Yeah,
see if
find
he's
that.
still. Trying to see if he's still in the league.
I don't. He might be on a D League roster or G League, whatever it is.
Oh, I'm looking him up. Hold on. No, he's still in the league this year.
Okay.
Averages
He
13
probably
points a
doesn't get
game.
any minutes. Does he really?
Wait, hold on. That might be last year.
No way.
Hold on.
Yeah.
It might have been last year.
Even last year, 13 points a game is.
No, that's this year. 13 points a game. No,
Who's he play for?
he's only played 5 games.
No.
I'm looking at his stats right now. He only played 5 games.
Utah.
He played for Utah, yeah.
He just signed there.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, he's played 5
He's
games.
probably killing it in a G League.
Well, he's played 5 games already. He's averaging 13 points a game. It's not bad.
It's not bad at all, honestly. But he's got to continue to do that.
Right. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I think the year after was better. I think.
Well, Tatum obviously was a great pick. Because that was the year after, right?
I think he's a little
Overrated?
I wouldn't say overrated. Maybe a little overrated. I think there's just something about him that kind of like rubs me the wrong way.
Do you remember the top 5 of this draft? 2017?
Oltz was 1.
Yep.
Ball was 2.
Yep.
Tatum was 3.
Yep.
Who picked at 4?
Phoenix Suns.
Who did the Phoenix Suns take? Oh, Eaton? No, that was the
No.
year after.
Went to Kansas. I don't know if that helps you at all.
I have no idea.
Josh
Well,
Jackson.
why don't you tell me? Josh Jackson. Who? And then was that the number 4, number 5?
That was number 4, yeah.
Who picked the 5?
Sacramento.
De'Aaron Fox.
Yep.
De'Aaron Fox. I'd really like him on the Sixers too.
It's fine. That was a Sixers pick.
Yeah. And they moved up to 3, and then they moved to 1. I think, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. The Sixers move up to 3, and then traded the 3 to move up to number 1. Yep, that's exactly how it went. Jonathan Isaac. Any other names on this?
He hasn't played
This
much.
was the Donovan Mitchell draft, 13 overall.
Yeah. As I say, he was around like 13 or 12.
Adebayo, however the fuck you say his name,
Yeah,
14.
yeah. Adebayo.
Yeah. Jared Allen.
Mm-hmm. Nice player.
Went 22. Kyle Kuzma went 27. That's a pretty nice pick late.
Yeah, not bad. It was a much better draft. The year after might be even better. I think it's Luka, Trae Young, DeAndre Ayton.
I hate Trae Young.
So do I.
He's such a punchable face.
Yeah.
He does, but all right. We can get out of here unless you know anything else you want to talk about, but I'm
not
over
really.
looking at NBA drafts. We'll be back next week. Hopefully we could do some Philly sports Jeopardy next week. And yeah, we're gonna be out of here. Everybody check out Manscaped. Use promo code FIREDUP and SEATGEEK, $20 off your first purchase using the code PHIREDUPSPORTS. We're going to get out of here. Follow us everywhere, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Go check out our YouTube channel. Subscribe on there. Check out all the podcasts on the network. They're doing great shit. They're killing it over there. And we're going to get out of here. We will see everybody next Monday. That was the wrong video. Hold on. We'll see everybody.
What a mic drop. What an exit.
Exactly. All right.
I start over.
Yes, do the whole show over. I couldn't play that off and then play the outro. I had to acknowledge the fact that I just fucked that up. So anyway, we're gonna get out of here. We will see everybody next Monday. See ya.